So now Dr. Nikhil will be talking on allergic eye diseases.
Thank you, Dr. Basak. I thought I will share with all of you what's new in the management of allergic eye disease, and these are some of the areas where I thought I will share which are the recent developments which are more clinically relevant. So as we all to begin with, the classification of allergy today is based on the mechanism, which may be IgE or a non-IgE mediated, which is different from just putting 4 entities into a list. And to note is that the severe forms of allergy like VKC and AKC have dual mechanisms. We have a large epidemiology based study from Hyderabad where about 26,000 patients of allergic eye disease have been evaluated, and from that we understand that it's the 3 to 11-year age group which has a maximum prevalence of allergic eye disease, and also that the palpebral form of allergy is probably most common form in our country. The study also shows that about 1 in 10 children and adolescents have allergic eye disease, and it's more common in boys and it's more common in spring and early summer. There is also a new terminology when we see VKC in adults. It could be either a childhood VKC, which is persisting beyond puberty. That means it continues beyond puberty into adulthood, or it could be a new onset or a late onset adult VKC. So when you see a patient who has a new onset of VKC in an adult, I think it's pertinent that we rule out HIV because there have been significant association between HIV positivity and new onset of VKC in adults. And in this category, it's probably equal numbers of male and female. IgE may or may not be raised, and there is an association with the CD4 count. So when you feel there is a suspicion of HIV, it's better to get it tested if you have this situation. And unlike conventional allergy, when the allergy is not getting controlled and is fairly refractory, we try to resort to immunosuppressive medications. However, in situation when there is a patient who is HIV positive, especially when their CD4 counts are extremely low, Shankar Netralaya studies have shown us that there is a Th1, Th2 shift, and basically the treatment is to give antiretroviral therapy, which helps to bring the allergy under control rather than immunosuppressing these patients. When we look at antihistamine medications for allergy, Bilastine is a new drug which is available orally in our country, and there have been some studies which have shown that it is probably much more safer. It does not cross the blood-brain barrier. It has less side effects and is more efficacious when you look at patients who have allergy, and is one of the drugs that probably we can use orally as well. There are studies of Bilastine ophthalmic solution under trial, and though we do not have it presently, I'm sure in the time to come, we would have Bilastine in our armamentarium soon. The other drug that is available is olopatadine 0.7%, which is been shown to have a rapid onset and a prolonged duration of action. So once a day dose is good enough. Topical calcineurin inhibitors have a lot of problem with regards to their tolerance and their penetration, and this has been taken care of by using tacrolimus ointment in a merino salves preparation, which can increase the penetration by absolutely around 15 times the ointment, and it might in fact be even effective not only for anterior segment but also posterior segment diseases. As Himanshu just mentioned, the cationic emulsion with a nanodrop technology has been used in the VECTIS study for VKC in a 0.1% concentration, and it is well tolerated, and probably it will be something that we also look forward to getting in our country, which may have a good bioavailability on the ocular surface. There are also studies which show us that if you use and treat allergic rhinitis well with intranasal steroids, there is an improvement in the ocular allergy symptoms. And I think this is something that we all need to be aware. And probably the intranasal steroids may, for various reasons, as has been shown in papers, might help the ocular disease. Immunotherapy is the promising option which can change the natural course of disease. And interestingly, in addition to the sublingual and subcutaneous doses that are used traditionally, we also have now newer mechanisms like using intralymphatic and epicutaneous delivery vehicles for immunotherapy. And an oral vaccine is also being tried in Japan. We all need to use a treatment algorithm, and for this we need to classify allergy based on severity and periodicity of disease. And also it's essential that we use steroid sparing therapy with calcineurin inhibitors and try to restrict the usage of steroids and immunosuppressive medication for the most severe grades of VKC. I would thank all of you for your listening, and I think we need to keep working on allergy. There are a lot of unanswered questions, and we still have a lot of patients who suffer either from allergy or from the side effects of the medications that we use. And I look forward to a brighter future with all of us working more on this.